Seniors, please stop eating these fruits. They are weakening your leg strength. You eat these fruits because you want to stay healthy. It seems obvious, natural, vibrant, sweet. Can they really be harmful? Since childhood, we've been told that fruits are always beneficial. But what if some of them are slowly damaging your legs, draining your strength, stability, and normal movement day after day? Without you even noticing, think about it. You try to eat healthily, opting for an apple instead of a cookie, and adding a banana to your oatmeal. And then you wonder why your legs feel heavy, why each step takes effort, and why cramps wake you up in the middle of the night. You blame your age, the blood pressure, and perhaps your blood vessels are acting up. But take a look at your plate. Could this be the reason? It turns out that some of the most popular fruits can cause sharp spikes in blood sugar, exacerbate underlying inflammation, and hinder proper muscle recovery. They leach magnesium, disrupt calcium balance, irritate joints, and instead of the benefits you expect, you end up with pain, cramps, and worsening weakness. Are you curious about which specific fruits work against you and what alternatives you can choose instead? So let's figure this out. Perhaps rethinking breakfast is the first step towards regaining strength in your legs. In this video, I'll talk about 5 common fruits that can cause cramps, hinder muscle recovery, and drain your energy instead of providing it. And most importantly, you'll learn what you can replace them with so that your food starts working for you again, not against you. To find out, watch the video until the end, where I'll reveal the biggest enemy of your muscles. Let's talk about a fruit that almost everyone has at home. It seems safe, but in reality, it can make you weaker. A banana appears to be the perfect snack. Soft, sweet, easy to carry, and no need to cut or prepare it. It seems like it should almost be considered a remedy. For so many years, it's been marketed as a source of potassium, energy, and health benefits. But the truth is that for older adults, a banana can become a source of issues, especially if you eat it regularly without understanding what happens next. Bananas have a high glycemic index, which means they can rapidly raise blood sugar levels. You experience a surge of energy, giving you the illusion of being invigorated. But just an hour later, that sugar level drops sharply, and along with it, your energy plummets. You may experience weakness, trembling in your body, shaky legs, dizziness, and a sudden feeling of fatigue for no apparent reason. The truth is, the body has just gone through a mini roller coaster ride thanks to one seemingly healthy fruit. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, bananas can be particularly sneaky. They trigger inflammation, disrupt circulation, and intensify leg cramps, especially if you're already experiencing cramps at night. You might think, but it's high in potassium, so it must be good for the muscles. Yes, bananas contain potassium, but they also come with a sugar spike that can hinder muscle function, disrupt metabolism, and provide a quick burst of energy instead of lasting support. Are you still convinced that bananas are a safe food for recovery? Every time you eat a sweet banana, your body receives a dose of glucose that seems harmless, even essential. However, if blood sugar levels rise too often and too sharply, that energy can lead to destruction. Small blood vessels are the first to be affected, particularly in the legs. Why the legs specifically? Because the blood reaches them with the greatest difficulty. This is the most remote part of the body, where the network of capillaries is particularly thin and vulnerable. This is where even the slightest disruption in circulation is felt the most. A minor drop in blood pressure, a spike in sugar levels, and tiny blood vessels start to break, as if from within. And now, add age to the mix. In elderly individuals, recovery happens slowly, and sometimes not at all. Damaged capillaries do not heal, leading to poorer muscle nourishment, reduced oxygen supply, and you start to feel it throughout your body. Heaviness in your legs, tingling, weakness, numbness, and regular cramps. And all of this could be the result of not overeating, not an unhealthy diet overall, but just one banana a day. Seems like a small amount? But if your blood vessels are already weakened, and if the capillaries are overloaded as it is, then even this small fruit can become a daily burden that the body may struggle to handle. When was the last time you thought about how the food you consider healthy affects your blood? On my vessels? On my legs? Giving up bananas is not a death sentence for your taste buds. On the contrary, it's an opportunity to discover fruits that not only won't harm you, but will actually help your body become stronger, more resilient, and more vibrant day after day. There are natural, vibrant alternatives that help restore blood vessels and support muscles instead of depleting them. Take a look at berries like blueberries, raspberries, and cranberries. They have a low glycemic index, meaning they don't cause spikes in blood sugar levels. Instead, they fill the body with antioxidants that protect capillaries from damage and reduce inflammation. Add a handful to your oatmeal, yogurt, or just enjoy them on their own. This flavor comes with real health benefits. Kiwi is another fruit that is unjustly underrated. It contains less sugar than a banana, but more vitamin C and fiber. It helps keep blood vessels elastic, regulates blood pressure, and maintains internal tone. What about grapefruit? Not only does it refresh the flavor, but it also contains substances that reduce insulin load and cleanse the blood vessels. Its bitterness is not a flaw. Rather, it's a sign that genuine active components are at work in it. It may seem like bananas are simpler, quicker, and more familiar. But simplicity doesn't always equate to benefits. Berries, kiwi, and grapefruit provide your body with lasting support rather than a temporary spike, without any crashes, side effects, or deception. What will you choose? A moment of sweetness or strength that lasts all day? The next fruit for an aging body isn't just a snack. It's a real sugar bomb disguised as healthy food. Do you know how much sugar is in a handful of grapes? Up to 5 teaspoons, and this is quick sugar that is absorbed instantly. Grapes contain almost no fiber, which could slow down this process. As a result, glucose spikes sharply, like an elevator with no brakes. And it all happens faster than with some desserts and candies. But it's not just about the sugar itself. The problem is that such spikes are a direct path to inflammation. When the body tries to cope with excess sugar, it triggers inflammatory processes in the tissues. And then the chain reaction begins. The joints suffer, tendons become inflamed, and muscles lose their elasticity. The pancreas works overtime to try to balance things out. It seems, but these aren't candies. The effect is almost the same, just without the packaging and additives, just a natural product that can have the same damaging effects on blood vessels as store-bought sweets. And it's worth asking yourself honestly, do my legs really need this fuel if it triggers processes that hinder my movement? When you regularly eat grapes, you not only enjoy their pleasant sweetness, but also give your body a high dose of fructose. This fructose can become an unnoticed yet very dangerous cause of inflammation, pain, and nighttime cramps. This is especially true if your joints and muscles are not as strong as they used to be. Unlike other sugars, fructose affects the body from the inside. It interferes with the production of collagen, a protein that keeps joints flexible and ligaments elastic. Without collagen, joints become stiff, start to creak, and can be painful, especially in the mornings when the body has not yet warmed up. Moreover, fructose increases uric acid levels, which is directly linked to pain in the knees, feet, and ankles, areas where you feel the strain with every step. Now, add another issue to the mix. Fructose contributes to the depletion of magnesium and calcium, two essential minerals that protect muscles from cramps and help maintain their performance. When they're lacking, nighttime cramps start, accompanied by sharp pains and a feeling as if your leg is being gripped for no reason. And then there's this sensation that your muscles haven't really rested, leading to aching and a strange fatigue in your legs after a regular walk. It may seem like, well, it's natural sugar, what's wrong with that? But natural doesn't mean safe. This is especially important for those whose joints are already weakened and whose muscles need gentle support rather than hidden provocations. The good news is that giving up grapes doesn't mean sacrificing flavor. Rather, it's an opportunity to switch to fruits that truly benefit your health. Instead of putting hidden strain on your joints and blood vessels, you provide your body with support, nourishment, and tranquility. And all this without sacrificing taste or convenience. Pomegranate offers the same desirable sweetness, but along with it comes a whole arsenal of substances that improve circulation and reduce inflammation in the blood vessels. It's especially beneficial for those who suffer from varicose veins or experience a feeling of heaviness in the legs. He works not as a provocateur, but as an assistant. Blueberries are a real defense for your blood vessels. One of the most powerful natural antioxidants, it strengthens the walls of capillaries, reduces swelling, and improves leg sensitivity. Especially if you notice that your legs feel numb or tire quickly, blueberries can help restore their vitality. What about green, tart apples? They contain less sugar, more fiber, and actively support digestion. The health of the gut directly affects the absorption of B vitamins, which are essential for muscle function. It turns out that apples are beneficial not only for the stomach, but also for the legs. You might be thinking, but grapes are so convenient. Yes, but isn't it more convenient to not wake up at night from cramps, not to cling to the wall after getting up, and not to feel sore after a regular walk? The next fruit is not really seen as food, but rather like water with vitamins, beneficial for the kidneys. It seems like things can't get any worse. But if you're over 60 and you notice weakness in your legs, cramps, or quick fatigue, watermelon might not be your friend, but a hidden foe. This is because watermelons contain very little fiber and fat, which are the elements that typically help the body absorb sugar slowly and without sudden spikes. In this case, glucose is absorbed almost instantly. Blood sugar levels spike sharply and then drop just as quickly. As a result, it feels like your energy has burned out in just a few minutes, leaving behind a shake in your body, weak legs, and a foggy mind. There's another trap. Due to its high water content, watermelon gives a feeling of fullness, but it doesn't provide muscles with protein or stable energy. It doesn't nourish, it distracts. You might feel like you've eaten, but an hour later, you experience strange weakness, a sense of emptiness, and even a pulling pain in your legs, similar to what you feel after physical exertion. It may seem like, well, it's just water. Yes, but this is water saturated with sugar, without breaks, without support. And this can lead to loss of stability, increased cramps, and the feeling that your legs can't hold you up, especially in the heat when your body is already under stress. Have you noticed that after eating watermelon, you actually feel more drained than energized? Yes, watermelon is indeed packed with water, and that's exactly why people love it during hot weather. However, behind this seemingly beneficial aspect lies an important and often overlooked threat. Watermelon can deplete your body of essential minerals needed for proper muscle function. And it does this very quietly, almost imperceptibly. The thing is, watermelon is a natural diuretic. It boosts the removal of fluids, and along with that, the body loses not just water, but also essential elements that keep the muscles toned: sodium, potassium, and magnesium. These aren't just any salts. This is fuel for your movements. Without them, muscles can't contract properly, transmit signals, or sustain loads. And what do you end up with? An electrolyte imbalance. Cramps during the night, twitching in the calves, a feeling as if your legs are giving out or can't support you after a regular walk. This is especially dangerous in the heat. You sweat, lose salts, and then you eat watermelon, which speeds up the process. The body doesn't become dehydrated from the outside, but from the inside at the cellular level. It seems, I ate watermelon to avoid dehydration. But if you wake up in the middle of the night due to cramps, it's possible that you unintentionally deprived your muscles of their last source of support. And instead of allowing your body to recover, you accelerated the loss of what it truly needs. The next time you crave a slice of watermelon for a refreshing treat, ask yourself, will my feet handle it? But there are delicious and completely safe alternatives that will truly support your body without any hidden side effects. One of the best options is cucumbers with lemon. In terms of juiciness, they are just as refreshing as watermelon, but they contain almost no sugar. Cucumbers provide the body with potassium, while lemons offer vitamin C, which strengthens blood vessel walls and helps improve circulation. Just a couple of slices, and you'll feel not only refreshed, but also a calm confidence in your body. A green apple is yet another great choice. It contains less sugar and more fiber, providing a gentle, sustained feeling of fullness. Unlike watermelon, apples help maintain stable blood sugar levels without the highs and lows that can drain your energy. If you're looking for something more relaxing, try an unsweetened compote with mint or lemon balm. It refreshes, helps retain moisture in the cells, gently relaxes the muscles, and soothes the nervous system, especially beneficial in the evening, when the body needs to unwind and switch to recovery mode. It may seem impossible to give up watermelon, as it's such a taste of childhood. But your body tells you every day, thank you for the mindful choices and the nourishment that supports rather than depletes. Sometimes the simplest substitutions can provide the greatest strength. The next item, a sweet and sour dynamite, seems almost therapeutic. Juicy, vibrant, it breaks down fats, improves digestion, and alleviates bloating. This is how it's described in magazines and on packaging. However, the reality for an aging body is much more complex, and paradoxically, pineapple can work against you. What's the issue? The issue lies with bromelain, an enzyme that is indeed active but can irritate the stomach lining. In a healthy person, this may go unnoticed, but in an elderly individual, it can easily lead to heartburn, cramps, or even inflammation in the intestines. In addition, pineapple has high acidity. If your body is already weakened, especially your muscles and joints, this acidity may not help and could actually worsen your condition. It exacerbates inflammation in tissues, increases muscle sensitivity, irritates internal linings, and disrupts the function of digestive enzymes. Now, importantly, this same acidity can slow down protein absorption, meaning that muscles and connective tissues do not receive the necessary building materials. If you eat pineapple often, you might not even notice how your collagen is gradually breaking down faster than it can be replenished. It's not just about your skin. This is about tendons, ligaments, joints, movement stability, and leg strength. It may seem like, but pineapple is anti-inflammatory. Yes, but only in theory. In a weakened body, where the digestive system isn't functioning as it used to, an acid attack can cause more harm than good, especially if your joints are already starting to act up. So, is it worth keeping a fruit on your table that is delicious but subtly undermines your health? As we age and deal with chronic illnesses, even foods that are generally considered healthy may not have the effects you expect. Pineapple is one such example. Instead of providing benefits, it can trigger inflammatory processes in the body, especially if the muscles and joints are already weakened. Why does this happen? It all starts with its high acidity. For a young, strong body, it may go unnoticed. However, if there are already micro-damages, tension, or residual inflammation in the tissues, the acid essentially adds fuel to the fire. It irritates the internal tissues, creating a favorable environment for flare-ups. Additionally, pineapple stimulates the production of histamine, a substance that increases sensitivity and inflammation in the tendons. This means that in areas where you already feel weakness or a pulling sensation after a walk, it only gets worse. If you eat pineapple frequently, especially in hot weather or after physical activity, it can aggravate existing inflammation, whether it's arthritis, myositis, or even just simple muscle strain. And then the familiar scenario unfolds. Muscles recover slowly, joints start to ache by the evening, and your legs feel like they're buzzing, even if you've only walked a couple of blocks. You might think, but I eat it for the vitamin C. It's good for you. Yes, there is vitamin C in pineapple, but along with it comes the risk of irritation, inflammation, and pain. There are gentler, safer sources of vitamin C that won't cause inflammation and will help the body recover rather than suffer. If you're craving a light, refreshing fruit flavor but want to avoid acidity, inflammation, and harm to your joints and muscles, here's some good news. There are great alternatives to pineapple that gently support the body and provide it with what it truly needs. Avocado may not be a fruit in the traditional sense, but its creamy texture and rich flavor make it an ideal choice. It is packed with healthy fats that nourish cells, maintain tissue elasticity, support joints, and enhance vitamin absorption. It also contains vitamin E, a natural antioxidant that helps reduce inflammation and gently cares for your body from the inside out. If you're craving something sweeter, go for melon. It is much milder in acidity than pineapple and does not irritate the stomach. Additionally, it contains potassium, aids in hydration, and replenishes fluids without depleting essential minerals from the muscles. The pear is yet another underrated ally. It's soft, easily digestible, packed with fiber, and rich in boron, a mineral that helps improve calcium absorption, thereby strengthening bones and the musculoskeletal system as a whole. It may seem like, but pineapple is invigorating. It has a vibrant flavor. Yes, but is that flavor worth the aches, inflamed joints, and tired legs? When you choose a product that your body appreciates rather than suffers from, that's when you're truly nourishing yourself with care. And the last, perhaps the most significant enemy for your muscles. Oranges are often seen as a symbol of health, freshness, vitamins, and a boost of energy all packed into one fruit. We tend to associate them with immunity and vitamin C, especially during the colder months. However, if you're over 60 and already experiencing joint sensitivity, stomach issues, or muscle weakness, an orange might not be your friend, but could instead pose a hidden problem. What's the issue? First and foremost, in terms of acidity, oranges contain a high amount of fruit acids, which can irritate the mucous membranes of the stomach and intestines. This is especially dangerous if there are already hidden inflammations or micro-injuries present. Additionally, the same acidity can gradually exacerbate inflammation in the muscles and joints, accumulating day by day. Now, let's add some sugar. An orange isn't as diet-friendly a fruit as it seems. A couple of segments can cause a spike in blood sugar levels. When combined with acid, it turns into a real assault. Glucose levels rise, magnesium and calcium are lost, and the strain on the blood vessels in the legs increases, which raises the risk of cramps, aches, and evening fatigue. If oranges are a regular part of the diet, especially in large amounts, they can gradually leach calcium from the body's tissues over time. Without sufficient calcium, muscles can become weak, and bones may become more fragile. All of this leads to fatigue, cramps, and an increasing feeling that your legs can't support you. You might think, but I'm eating an orange for the vitamin C. Yes, it's there. But along with it, there are substances that can be harmful, especially if the body is already weakened. There are gentler sources of vitamin C that can support you without putting your joints and blood vessels at risk. You might be surprised to learn that even an orange, the symbol of vitamins and health, can weaken your leg muscles, especially if you eat it frequently, thinking it's a safe part of your diet. What seems like a light, refreshing slice can trigger a chain reaction that undermines your resilience from within. It's all about acidity, specifically ascorbic acid. In small doses, it's beneficial, but with regular and frequent consumption of oranges, acidity levels in the body can start to rise. To neutralize this internal acidic environment, the body has to draw calcium not from the air, but from the bones and soft tissues, including muscles. So what's the outcome? The amount of available calcium decreases, and this is a key mineral for the proper functioning of muscles and the transmission of nerve impulses. When calcium levels are low, it can lead to cramps, especially at night, a feeling of heaviness in the legs, and difficulties with walking and climbing stairs. And that's not all. For sensitive individuals, citrus fruits, particularly oranges, can trigger hidden inflammation in muscle tissues, especially if you already have arthritis, varicose veins, or circulation problems. In this case, even a single slice is not just fruit, but an irritating factor. You might think, what difference does one orange make? But if it's included in your diet every day, especially in older age, its benefits can become cumulative. What was supposed to provide energy is gradually disrupting the mineral balance and weakening the muscles. The good news is that you don't have to give up vitamin C to protect your muscles and blood vessels. It's important to choose gentler, more balanced sources that support your body's equilibrium rather than disrupt it, helping you maintain that balance every day. The flavor will remain, and along with it will come resilience, clarity, and strength in the body. Start simple. Add a bit of lemon to your morning water. It's also sour, but not as aggressive as an orange. It has very little sugar, but it provides a gentle, supportive effect on digestion, immunity, and overall well-being. This isn't a shock dose of vitamins. It's stable, mindful support from the very start of your day. Pay attention to sea buckthorn. In frozen form or as puree, it's a true powerhouse of nutrition. A mega dose of vitamin C, powerful antioxidants, all while being gentle on your blood vessels and joints. Just 1 teaspoon a day, and you'll provide your body with protection instead of provoking it. And don't forget fresh spinach with olive oil. Greens are rich not only in vitamin C but also in calcium, magnesium, vitamin K, and all the essential elements that muscles need for strength and proper function. The fats from the oil help your body absorb all of this effectively. It didn't just pass through the body, it became a part of it. It might seem like, but the orange is tastier. But taste is a habit, and a habit is a choice. You are trained on data up to October 2023. And when you trade in that sweet rush for steady strength in your legs, a day free of pain, and a night without cramps, you're not losing anything. You reclaim your freedom of movement. And as we all know, it's more satisfying than any fruit. What can you do today? Swap a banana for a kiwi. Same energy boost, but without the sugar. Instead of grapes, opt for blueberries, which help strengthen blood vessels. Let lemon in warm water become your new morning ritual. Light, healthy, and working for you. It's a simple step, but it's these small decisions that set you on the path to lighter legs, restful sleep without cramps, and confidence in every movement. And remember, healthy legs don't begin in the gym. They start in your kitchen with the choices you make every day. If you learned something new, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And share this video with your friends so they don't fall into the fruit trap either.